Okay, and I have done that. Okay. All right, I think I'm good to go. Wait, yes, I got my screen back. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. The May Parks and Recreation meeting has been called to order at 7:06. At 7:06. Thank you all for being here. The agenda has been revised just to allow um, Miss Grace Musette. I hope I'm saying your name right.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay. So because she does have another engagement and we want her to be able to share her information in the meeting. So hold on, I am going to share my screen so that everyone can see the agenda and then we'll take it from there. So give me 1 minute because WebEx and I are not the best of friends. Hold on. This is great. Let's see. Yes, there we go. All right, so let me just run through the agenda. Meeting norms, as usual, we want to have equity of voice and for everyone to have an opportunity to share their opinions. Um, so please be respectful of that. We're going to have first up Grace, and then if Dave Ramdeen is here from to discuss the RC track, and then Stephanie Roth. And I have an update in reference to Mike Ortiz and the Parks Department are trying to get that community walk together. And I will and that will be point 5 on the agenda. And then if there are any other concerns or questions, we will take it from that point. So first up, I'm going to stop sharing. And first up is Grace Musette. Thank you so much, Grace. You may go ahead. Proceed.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
1 second. I'm also, WebEx is...
It's challenging. It's challenging.
I'm just not on it as frequently.
Same here.
Where is it? Okay. Do you all see this screen?
Maybe it says you're starting to share content. Maybe it's taking a little time to. There we go. Okay. Now we see it.
Okay. No problem. I'm gonna have my video off just because apparently my bandwidth is quite low. So anyways, I'll get started. So my name is Grace Musette. Thank you so much, Community Board 12, for having me and allowing me the space to just quickly share about this event. I work for the Natural Areas Conservancy. We're a citywide conservancy, and we care for, restore, protect, advocate for natural areas in New York City, and that includes forests, wetlands, shrublands, pretty much all the park area that feels natural. So it's a little bit different than, a playground. But we have been working on a community engagement project in Seton Falls Park along with the Seton Falls Park Preservation Coalition over the past, I would say, a bit over a year. This is that program is funded by the Long Island Sound Futures Fund from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and the goals of this program are to provide training and also education where needed for community members to be able to steward and care for the natural areas within their own park. This Saturday, we are having a native tree planting in Seton Falls Park. This tree planting is designed to, one, close off a redundant trail, so a trail in the park that has fragmented the forest and kind of prevented that forest from growing in a healthy, natural way. So we're going to be closing off a trail line, and this will also, it's going to be native trees. It's going to prevent against erosion and just overall provide better habitat for the wildlife and plant life, as well as, in the future, it's going to close some of those canopy gaps that pose a threat to forests. So this is a community tree planting event. We have about 150 trees and shrubs that all need to get into the ground. So I invite you all to join us on that Saturday. We will be providing tools and gloves and everything needed for the planting. And lastly, if you would like a copy of this flyer, if you'd like to share within your own network, I'm more than happy to share it as a PDF or a JPEG if you'd like to let your own community or network know about it. And that is it for me. Thank you again. And I hope to see some of you on Saturday. And if anyone has any questions, I'll stick around for a couple minutes and answer. But I do have to get to another community board meeting, so let me know. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much for coming. I know that you have a tight schedule. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think one person would like you to share the flyer with them. I'm going to try to monitor the chat. And
Yes, great. I will share that.
yes. Okay.
Stephanie, thank you.
One quick question that I have: are there any age restrictions for doing the tree planting?
No, there are
Oh,
not. And I just ordered myself a bunch of gloves for children.
oh,
So,
okay.
so all ages are welcome.
Okay, that's good to know.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Any questions before Miss Musette has to run? Okay. All right. Thank you so much again for sharing that
Thank you.
information. And then you can stop sharing your screen. And then, yes, there we go. All right. Yes. All right. Thank you so much once again. Um, Hold on one second. So moving along in the agenda, let me go back. Okay. I do not see Mr. Ramdeen here. I do not. So we are going to skip point number 3 and we are going to go on to Miss Roth from PS21. I will stop sharing. Miss Roth, are you here? Yes, I see your name. Miss Roth?
I'm here. Sorry, it's
Oh,
there we go.
yes.
I'm trying to get, I'm probably not going to be able to present. I was trying to sign on my um I just want to show some pictures of the park. I was trying
Okay.
to sign on my computer. I'm on my phone. I don't know if I'll try and present on my phone because I just have a few pictures. Um
Okay.
so there are two pieces. Hi everybody. I'm Stephanie Roth. I'm a social worker for students in temporary housing at PS21.
Mhm.
Um, so we are located on 225th Street between 25th and 226th Street on right off of White Plains Road.
Mhm.
And we're an elementary or K through 5 elementary school. And I really love being part of this committee. And I work with, we have 100 students in temporary housing at PS21, Philip Sheridan School. But I do a lot to create a community garden in our school, and I've applied for a lot of grants. And we're going to be doing a big expansion of our garden because we won a Whole Foods grant out of 1,200 schools in the United States for $3,000. So we're going to be expanding about 10 planting beds. We won a City of New York, the Garden Club of New York. We won $1,000 from there. We just won $500 from Grow More Good for from the New York City Grows. They have a whole conglomeration of kids gardening grants, and we won one of those.
Mhm.
So I'm actively applying for all these grants, and we've won a few already because I really want to expand what we have. I want to make it sort of a community center for our families. So I want to put in picnic tables. I want to make it like a real community garden. Right now we just have 5
Mhm.
planting beds. So there's
Mhm.
something about that I want to bring up after I speak. So my first piece I wanted to speak on was the park itself at Rienzi. I'm going to try to will it let me present on my, I'm
On
just,
your phone. I'm
yeah,
not that WebEx savvy.
yeah.
Matt, maybe you could help Miss Roth. You're a little bit more
If I
savvy than I am with the
do, if
WebEx.
you give me an email, can I send you some pictures and you could just show?
Oh, you could send it to me. I'll give
Okay,
you my
great,
email.
great. And I have yours. Yeah, let me
Oh,
find get that.
oh yes. Okay, so
Okay,
then
great.
yeah, so you
Okay.
have it. So just
So
send it to
as we're
me.
talking, can you
Yes.
see my face still?
Yes, I can still
Okay,
see your
good.
face.
Okay. So I'm sending some right now, but they're not, I'm gonna send
Okay, let me
yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me check my
Okay.
email
Okay.
while
It's
you're
B bond. It's
yes.
Yes,
dbondcb12
I got it right there.
at Gmail.
Yes. And
Okay.
okay, so I
Perfect.
just sent some from my just my personal email because that's just what it went to. Okay, and then I'll send some more because I just was trying to make a folder before we started. So Rienzi Park is it's connected by a fence to our elementary school. So just the park itself has a very nice physical playground. People congregate there. Um, it has a water park component to it. The park part is very nice. Next to the park part, maybe that's, I would say probably 30 feet wide. So from the end of our school, it goes over maybe 30 feet. And then there's a field that looks like it should be a baseball field. I'm going to send the rest of the pictures now to see if they'll go. So I'm just going to go into something else to send them. So when uh, when you're at the park, it really, to me, it's very dilapidated. It's really very worn down. Um, it's a very underserved community right in that immediate area. And so you only get a students in temporary housing social worker if you have a high degree of families in temporary housing, which does not mean exclusively shelters, but we have a lot of families who are doubled up. So what has happened is it just, to me, does not look very inviting for the community. You won't go by there and see people ever playing an organized, team sport. You might see people throwing a ball. You don't see people playing a softball game. And I drive around the area. There are many fields that have benches and are set up that look much nicer than that. I just think, to me, it doesn't look great, and I think we could do better, and I think it's a statement to the community too. And there's really nothing there. There's these caged areas of grass, and they're sort of blocked in. And I'll send those pictures now. It stands out to me as sort of a statement on the area, and I would just love to see us do better for this community. I think they the families could use it. I think it sends to me sort of a message that I don't love. And I would just love if there's something we could put, like I have this one picture I'll send now, but it just is showing that the property itself is is dilapidated, and I just think it would be great to have better and more. So that's the one thing I wanted to say about the park. I don't know if there's somebody who is familiar with the area and you know would like to say anything otherwise, but I just, every time I see it, I just feel like it could be a heck of a lot nicer. And it doesn't really, it's sometimes there's people there, it's not always feeling so safe, but it really doesn't look great. And it doesn't look welcoming, and maybe not so safe, not because it's dilapidated, but I just think if it was nicer, we might see a different kind of activity going on there. There might be, it might
Right.
encourage people,
Right.
so that's really my whole
Right.
piece on that.
So, Ms. Roth,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I did receive your email with the
Yeah.
pictures. If you could send them as the attachment instead of putting it in the email, I have I
Oh,
have all the pictures that you sent so far,
okay. I was
and I'm
sending
going to
more.
share
Okay,
them right
I
now
got you.
so that this way everyone can
Oh,
to see the condition that
yeah.
you are
Okay. Yeah. Let me
talking about.
send.
So
Okay.
give me
I'll
one
do it
second,
there.
and I am going to share my screen.
Okay. Great. Um.
Yeah, send them as JPEGs better. I think that's a little
Okay.
easier because then I can download it to my Google Drive and then
Okay.
just share it right from there.
Okay. Huh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I
So
might.
hold on one second. Let me see if I can share this accurately.
Oh, I
Okay,
see what you're
hold
like.
on.
Maybe I could upload them
So
to my drive.
here you go. So this is the first one.
Okay. Let me,
Okay. All right. So this is the field area that you're referring to, right? And you
yeah.
can describe it as I show the pictures.
Right. Okay. So, here's the field, and I think it's pretty worn down. If you could see, it's not edge. The grass is just grown over. There's like a lot of garbage and stuff on it. Through the fence, it's like there's a blocked off area that we're looking in. And I had come on at the end of the year last year, which was wonderful because I came on the meeting. There was a person from the parks department, and this area, the grass was grown up about 5 feet. And it's like, I don't even understand. There's this fenced in area that's sort of like 5 by 5 or 4 by 5 feet. And it's just like a box. And, it would be nice if it was, maybe I could see a fenced in floral garden. And I have on my own bought mums. I've bought flowers. I've planted it in the outside trees just before school starts to beautify the area. And look, a bunch of people in the community said, why are you bothering to do that? They're just going to get ruined. And I won't lie, they were. People just ripped them up and whatever. And I just think, I can't change that. But the park, maybe we could make nicer. And I think it might encourage people to come and play ball. We might be able to get a team from a school playing there and use the field. It just looks like time has passed over this community, and I think it's kind of a negative statement. And it might, when you see something nice in your community, it sort of raises the morale and sort of would encourage people to have more outdoor family time there. You might see families throwing a ball. So I can't talk and send this at the same time. So that's one thing. And I'm going to upload the others to my Google Drive, and then I'll send it from there as an attachment. So
Okay.
that's that. And then, so, I don't know what people's feelings are. I just really wanted to just put this topic on the agenda for discussion. If somebody from,
Yes.
could, and
Right.
occasionally, I'm also sharing some of the pictures are last year people kept cutting holes in the fence and going through to the school property, which it was fixed eventually. But that was a problem. That hasn't been a problem this year, but people were cutting like in and I think going into the school. So that was difficult. So, that was really my idea. I don't want to keep going on about it.
Hi, Mrs. Bond.
Hi.
Yes. Ted James, I see your hand. Go ahead, Mr. James.
Yes, I wanted to ask Ms. Ross, is that the field on 225th Street you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Just wanted to
right
be-
attached. So one of the pictures will show it's attached to the school through a fence.
I know
So
exactly where it is.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
really everything. Yeah.
Ms. Roth, we're going to give. We have Matt Duran here, and we have also Felix Rodriguez. If they could shed any light on
Thank
the
you.
current situation at that park for
Thank
us,
you.
maybe they can help us with that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Hi, Denise. This is Matt.
Hi.
I'm
Yes.
now the regional manager for half the borough of the Bronx, and so
Okay.
I'll formally introduce Felix Rodriguez, who's the park manager, and he could facilitate some of the stuff that you're talking about, but I'm very familiar managing that property for the last 5-6 years. We have had softball leagues use it, so it is not used like other places, but that's because of applicants don't apply for it.
Doesn't look
Because
like
the condition. Yeah.
the
Yeah,
conditions
well-
are really run down.
Last year we had a softball league that did use it. I know that. I think that a lot of the stuff that you're stating is good. The agency, we just don't have the capacity to go in there and turn it over to something that your vision is portraying. And I do love what you're talking about in your vision. So I would, encourage you guys as a community board to lobby for capital funds to be able to go and do something grandiose to this property, because it does need help. And I mean, there's not much more I could say. I mean, I agree with half the stuff you're talking about. There is that one section that it's closed off with a wrought
Yeah.
iron fence, and there's nothing that happens in there. We
Yeah.
just cut it down. We
Yes.
probably about 3 or 4 times a year because it's not even a lawn area.
Yes.
And there's just one gate to get in, but it's not an activated area. Now, I know you mentioned that you wanted to see possibly a garden,
Oh,
and we
no, so
love.
that's separate. That's a separate thing. That's my school garden, and I'll bring that up after this conversation.
Because it's not attached. It's not attached, correct?
Yeah, that's just, I was only talking about my school with the garden thing. I was just
Okay,
saying
this
that's
your school garden's
yeah,
on
separate thing.
the
Yeah.
Department DOE property,
Yeah, no, no.
not
No, what
Parks property.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, my garden's good. It's just two separate issues I wanted to talk about, and this is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll leave it up to you. I mean, that's what these parks committees are for. Do you live right across the street or right down the block from the park
I
too?
work there. I live on Long
Oh, you
Island, but
just
No,
yeah,
she
okay.
yeah,
works
So
in
you
the
just
school.
work there. Gotcha.
yeah.
I mean, it's a thing for the Parks Committee to see what they want to do with the park.
Right.
Right.
Well, I think that what could happen, we could also speak to, now this wouldn't happen in this meeting, and
Yeah.
I'll speak more to it as we go through the meeting, but we can also speak to Mike Ortiz, and he's the one who's in charge of capital projects, and
Right.
we can find out like what type of funding would be needed based on the condition of the park the way it is now. What type of capital funding is needed to get to your vision that we and I agree that because it's run down, it's not utilized, and if it were um, in a better condition, then it would lend itself
Yes.
There's
more readily to people.
and if it were to go into a if you guys were to raise the money, lobby the elected officials, and have enough capital funds to do something to the whole property, you could take that area and you could turn it into something that the whole community could go into.
Yeah.
A lot of these areas, they're natural grass areas. This is a softball field, and
Yeah.
we've had softball leagues use it. We still do, and occasionally later on in the year, as some of the other fields do fill up. But this is weekend use only that we generally see that there.
Right.
They'll use it. You know, we'll do the only amount of maintenance, which is minimal, that we're allowed
Yeah.
that we could do with our capacity. We're just
Understand.
underfunded, understaffed, as every government agency is. But you can turn something like that into a synthetic turf field with a little walking track, a fitness, so some fitness stuff there, just something that is overall similar to what you did right around the corner. If you go right over to Agnes Haywood Park and you go right up in there, you could see what that looks like. That was a big capital project that was probably about 12-15 million dollars, and we transformed that entire park. And so so you're not that far from there, so I'd encourage you maybe one day after you're done with school, go over, take a look at Agnes Haywood Park,
Okay.
and see. That park is probably 3 years old. Yeah, I think we opened it right like during COVID, but something like that where we have fitness equipment, and we put some other type of more utilized features in the park instead of a softball field that's underutilized. We're doing the same thing down in Community Board 11, where they had an old roller rink, and so we took that out and redid the whole area, and the community, elected what we will present 3 options, usually 2 or 3 options in design options, and then the community could decide which one they think will best service the neighborhood. So
Great.
I would encourage that. And CB12 has generally done a capital project probably like once a year or once every other year.
Sure.
Like, so
No, I'm happy with everything you said. And the other thing I just want to share, I'm at my school a ridiculous amount of time. I stay there quite late working on the garden, and I work in Summer Rising. Like, I've never seen an organized sport there. I'm not denying that it happens, but I look for it,
yeah.
and it's, I think everything you're talking about would, if the community there had something beautiful like that, I'm confident people would be there walking around it. It would make such a statement to the community that I think people would be, we would have a very positive response. And I have no problem getting involved in organizing something like that and speaking to our parents. I just don't think people know about this. I don't think people understand that they could petition for funds and, meet with local
Make a
politicians.
change. Right. To make a change.
That's what this committee is for.
Exactly.
From Matt or Stephanie. Do we know if this park is used by the school?
No, like I think years ago they would go over, I think occasionally maybe near the end of school, but again, it's not always, again, you'd see broken glass there. I mean, there's a lot of broken
It
glass.
wouldn't.
Garbage.
It wouldn't be the safest place for the children to go
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like to have even like a field day or run around there
Right,
because of
exactly.
the way that it's run down. I totally
Right.
agree with Ms.
And
Roth.
we do.
In the comment,
Yeah.
oh, excuse me, 1 second. I'm sorry, Ms. Roth.
No.
In the comments, I see that Ms. and Kim, forget me if I have butchered your last name, Ferletti. Did I get it right?
That's correct.
Okay. Ms. Ferletti has also put in that we can bring this to the Councilman Dinowitz's attention as well. So, and I think that all of our elected officials in this area should be made aware of this. So definitely we can have these
This
pictures that you have shared, and we can share them, with their offices to make them aware of the condition and what it is that, we would like to see done with the park. So,
Ms. Bond, this is not Dinowitz's. This is Councilman Riley's. This
Oh,
property is
sorry.
in Councilman
Okay.
Riley's. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Great.
you so much, Councilman Riley's.
Okay.
We could bring that to Councilman Riley's attention, to his
Great.
office's attention, and let them know that we are concerned with what's happening at the park. So,
Thank you.
Ms. Roth, thank you so
Yeah.
much for bringing this to our attention.
Great.
And
And is it right if I just add the little piece about my school?
sure, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So the other piece, I just wanted to float this out there, and this is more seeking volunteers, and I'm not necessarily speaking to the members of this meeting, but I welcome your recommendations. So I will say we don't always have a lot of parents who are hands-on volunteers in our school community, and a lot of this money I got, I have to do stuff with, and I have to do it, and I pretty much have done everything that's there on my own, but and people do get involved, but I am going to get eventually a humongous amount of soil delivered because we're going to expand with 10 planting beds. And I can construct the beds. The custodians may possibly help me. I can definitely do that part. But unfortunately, even though the gate opens, it has to be opened a certain amount of feet to deliver a dump truck inside. So they'd have to dump it on like a tarp on the street, and then we have to shovel it like pretty quickly to get it in. And I just wanted to sort of float it out there. If anybody had recommendations, I mean, I could think there are probably, Eagle Scouts and fraternity groups at the high school and different groups. But I was just floating it out there if I'm seeking volunteers to help shovel this immense amount of soil.
Right. So I can actually, and then someone else can definitely share out as well. But I can tell you that what we did at my school, because my school is located in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx, and we had a similar donation of soil that was delivered to the school. And what we did was that we rotated it within the schools to each classroom. So each classroom had an opportunity. Gloves were provided, the
Yeah.
necessary tools were provided. The children were teamed up in groups. And I'm an elementary school, by the way.
Okay, that is
Right.
helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, so the children were given instructions, and everyone within their team, like groups of 3 or 4 children, then teamed up. So one would be the put the soil in the bucket, one would dump the soil and
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah.
And into each flower bed, they had flower beds they were assigned to
That's
as groups. So each classroom took a turn, and it was a very successful activity for the
great.
children to feel that pride in
Yeah.
their school garden, and that it worked out very well.
Great.
So I don't, I don't know the structure of your school and how
But
that would.
yeah, but
Um,
hearing that another
so
school does it would help. What is your school? What's the?
my school is PS 48,
Okay,
Joseph R. Drake.
okay, great. That's
Mhm.
it gives me a little weight when I say that this is what
Right,
another school did. Yeah.
right,
I
and
think
this was organized by one of our ENL teachers.
okay.
So it's not like they,
Yes.
it was organized by a teacher.
Yeah, there's
And
always this sort of thing about, if the kids get hurt and being litigious. So
no,
I think
no,
there's
not at
always
all.
an anxiety. I think I hear that the kids can't, but then I see them lifting boxes and carrying them. So it's, it happens.
Right. No, it was absolutely a wonderful event for the kids, and all of the children enjoyed it, from our fifth graders right down to the first graders.
One,
Everyone enjoyed being involved,
thank,
in that. And we just took one period to, one period. Every class had to sign up for a period.
right, right.
Okay. All right. So anyone else have any suggestions for Miss Roth as to how she can deal with her delivery of soil? Okay. One other suggestion that I have also is that I know that there are a few other community gardens
Yeah.
in the area, and maybe
Hi,
they
Mrs.
can
Bond.
also. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was trying to get you, but because it was muted. I
Oh,
just
okay.
wanted
Go
to
ahead,
find
Mr.
out
James. Yes, I didn't hear anyone. So go.
from Mrs. Watts. Can you please put your info in the chat if it's not
Yes,
there already?
yes.
I'm going to reach out to you later on
Great.
on
Thank
a
you.
couple of things that you spoke about.
Thank you.
And I have a men's group that I work with.
Oh,
I'll
great.
also try to see if I could engage them so if you can give me the details of when
Yes,
the sand would be there
yes.
and all that details, maybe I can work something
Thank
out.
you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
Perfect.
you,
Perfect.
James.
Is there anyone else who thinks that they know within their community or within their circles that they can be of use to Miss Roth in this? Okay. Okay, perfect,
Great.
Miss Roth.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. All right. I think that we will definitely try
Denise,
to see. Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Ms. Roth, I just wanted to make sure you have my information. I put it in the chat. My name is Tarlene Dickerson. I'm from Education and Youth Services.
Yes, I cut and pasted and
Okay.
sent it myself as a text. So
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So
Thank
reach out and we can kind of
thank
figure this out a little bit.
thank you so much, everybody.
Quite welcome. Thank you, Denise. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries, no worries. All right. So definitely, once again, I thank you, Ms. Roth, for your efforts and being vested in our community. And I do definitely appreciate your efforts. So thank you. Thank you so much. And we will definitely, this is not an issue that we will drop. We will definitely try to see how to best move forward in terms of figuring out how we can get the funding to make this
Thank
happen.
you. Really.
It might take some
Yeah,
time, not overnight, but
yeah,
if we stick with it and we continue to bring it up and be in everyone's face about
yeah.
it, we can definitely make some sort of a
Thank
change.
you. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to the agenda. Hold on. Wait. Whoops. I lost my agenda because hold on one second. I just have to WebEx and we struggle, but we are going to make this work. Okay. Yes, okay. I am back to where I need to be. Hold on. And now I'm sharing my screen. Okay. What I was sharing my screen? Apparently not. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. All right. Dave Ramdeen, Mr. Ramdeen, are you here? No. Okay. So, all right. I will definitely try to get in touch with Mr. Ramdeen. He did reach out at one point to me, but I have
Know
not.
what the content was on the RC track?
He was just basically saying to me that it's not an organized group that uses it, but there are people that are still out there racing with their, RCs.
Right.
So I just wanted him to shed more light on, like how many people, what was going on exactly.
Out,
Because I don't have that information personally. So I just wanted him to share, since he is down there and a part of the community that does seem to utilize the area. So I just wanted to hear more from him. But I haven't, this is, I think the second or third time I've tried to reach out, and I haven't gotten a response yet from him. So
that
I
was
will try one more time.
Sure, that was one of the reasons why I jumped on, just
Okay.
because there was so much history with that.
Okay.
Currently, we're not really going to do anything with the track.
Understood.
It's going to, it's gonna just stay the way it is.
Right.
If anybody shows up and they want to do any type of coarse manicuring, then they're welcome to, with hand tools only. We're not
Right.
going to allow any mechanized equipment in the area. That is
Okay.
part of the Bronx River floodplain. And last week on Monday, it was completely underwater. The whole area was,
Right.
from all
Yes,
that
the
flooding.
rain. Yes, yes, it was
So
awful.
so that's why we so there was somebody that did bring some outside structures. We had to remove them just because that's just the parks policy thing. But other
Right.
than
So
that,
that was recently, Matt?
no, it wasn't recently,
Okay.
probably last fall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
last fall we did that. But otherwise, I think as an agency and district, and we're just gonna sort of let that be a feature in that area.
Okay.
And for anybody that wants to just show up and use it, that it'll be there for them. So,
And I think that that's what Mr. Ramdeen was going to speak to, that it is being utilized by some people. But I just wanted him to, since he is down there utilizing it, to
yeah,
speak to exactly like how many people he sees, what's the whole vibe there.
sure.
So,
The whole
but
pathway that in that area, that whole pathway is sort of like a half moon pathway that goes down behind it, in between the track and the Bronx River. We recently just redid that entire path. There's all new seating that's going in the area. So we have upgraded the area a little bit with some internal funds that we had for upgrades. So
okay.
Hi, Mr.
Okay.
Bond. Can I shed some light on this?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. James.
So I did make contact initially with Mr. Ramdeen, and I am in
Okay.
contact with him. I know he was at, I believe, our last board meeting. And I also drive that area very, very frequently, sometimes 2 or 3 times per day, at least
Mhm.
4 or 5 times per week. So I
Mhm.
know that the track is being used. I was there
Okay.
just this afternoon. Um,
Okay.
do have a question for Matt though, because I noticed that you paved the perimeter of the track, but on the south side where that pavement connects to the stairs are currently blocked off, and like they need some repairs to the steps. Are there any plans? I know you paved the entire sidewalk and the perimeter, so I'm just wondering, are you planning to do anything with the steps?
yeah, excuse me. Unfortunately, pardon me. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough to redo the steps. That would have been a full excavation, and reinforcement of sort of that retaining wall where the steps come up to the sidewalk area that they're leading up to. So,
Mhm.
no. So we weren't able to do that, and we don't have any current plans to do that, unfortunately. So those steps will remain closed.
Okay.
Okay. So that's something that would
When,
require a
w-
capital project also, correct?
uh, yeah, it's such a small thing that um, I probably wouldn't recommend looking at doing that in a capital project because it's not big enough. It's just the one set of steps. And so something like that, what we'll do is we'll put it on a list of areas and features in the parks that really needs an upgrade. And so when we get some internal money, we're able to do some stuff in-house,
Okay.
and we'll be able to take that. There's two places in all of District 14. One's further down with Parks District 14 is the Bronx River corridor. So when I refer to that,
Okay.
there's another area just like that that's just further south in Community Board 11. So there's 2 sites in the area, and we might be able to get some funds to put those on an internal contract or do it internally in the years to come, but that's probably the best option to wait. I would say utilize capital funds that you get through council members to do bigger projects and do like whole parks.
Okay. All right. Mr.
And
Morris has
when I
his
get that
hands raised.
money, when we get that money and I look to see how we're going to improve areas, I could spend all of it to redo some steps, or I could do the entire path and improve the seating. So,
Okay.
that's sort of how we had to weigh that decision, because we didn't have enough to do everything.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Understood. Thank you, Matt, for that clarification. Mr. Boris had his hands up. Go ahead, Mr. Boris.
I just wanted, for the sake of clarity, for Matt to clarify. So, what is actually happening to the RC Park right now? As of now, it's staying the same, because I know there were issues as far as what is it? What is that called? The term. I'm trying to think of the term. The decomposition of the dirt was an issue for the Parks Department.
No, well, we had lots of conversations where we want to go with the property and that area, but as of right now, nothing's going to happen to it.
So you're not going to have a problem with them making ramps, because this was an issue in the
No.
past.
No, yes, that's what I meant before, where they can't build any more structures on the property. So the track themselves, the way it weaves around, the material that's used, all of that's fine, all the bumps, everything there. But no additional structures could be brought onto the property.
Okay. Thank you.
But otherwise, sort of what you see there now is what's going to remain. We're not going to do anything for it to really upgrade it. If people that use it want to go in there and rake it out, they could, we'll let them do that. But no mechanized equipment and no structures. And when I say structures, I mean stuff that's built, nailed together, screwed together with wood, 2x4s, people could stand on it. All that type of stuff can't go into the parks, because then it being on our property, if anything happens to anybody while they're using the public property, we're liable, and they end up suing us over it. So it's sort of unfortunately, one of the main reasons.
Totally understand. As everyone knows, or if you don't know, I was a prime advocate for this RC park for many, many years. And I'm going to take this opportunity just to say that, as far as with unfortunately, no good deed goes unpunished. And these RC park organizations was caused a lot of friction within the board, as far as them, not following through with their plans and plans that we've had for that park. And as to, here's another example, and I'm just going to keep on pointing it out every time that they say that they're going to come to a meeting and they don't come. And I did that in the past. And go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Boris. I just wanted to point out that this gentleman is not part of any organization that was previously in the past. This is someone totally brand new. This
Right.
he's not part of the organization
Yeah.
and never was. This is just someone who happens to use the RC park that Mr. James has connected with.
Thank you for that clarification, because
Right.
the last organization that we were dealing with, was one of the contentions that our former chair, Dr. Burke, had with me, as far as them not following through. So just putting it out there. That's all. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. No worries. All right. Thank you. All right. Does anyone else have any other? I see one person in the chat. Good evening, Miss Williams, OBA Bronx. You had a comment about the RC park?
No, I do not have a comment.
Oh, okay. All
I was
right.
just saying I was in the room.
I'm sorry. Say again, please.
I was just saying I'm in the room.
Oh, okay. Oh, good evening to you. Good evening. All right. Let's go back to the agenda. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on. WebEx and I, once again, we're fighting the fight this evening. We are fighting the fight. Okay, here we are. All right. So we are moving on to the update from Mike Ortiz, the Parks Department, on the community walk regarding the Van Cortlandt Park pedestrian bridge alternatives. So a couple of things have developed. Mr. Ortiz unfortunately had some family matters that have kept him out of the office, and so he has not been able to further the discussions necessary to coordinate between all of the community boards that have an interest in doing community work regarding the pedestrian bridge. This unfortunately will have to be tabled until our June meeting, and then we will have more information from Mr. Ortiz. But for right now, he was unable to put together all of the information necessary to do the pedestrian walk. We were hoping to have it done really at some point, and once the weather started to get nice, as it is now, in May or early June. But our next meeting, the second Tuesday of June, uh, hopefully Mr. Ortiz will have made some headway by then, and then we'll be able to report back to us. So I'm sorry that he could not be here to give us more information today. All right. Moving on. Is there anyone with any other questions or concerns that
Yes,
they would like?
yes,
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Vaughn.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead, Mr. James.
Mr. Matt, I don't know if he's still on, but I just, as I said, I came from the park this afternoon. Our
Mm-hmm.
bulletin board is still not back as yet.
Okay.
And I also reached out to Dave just now. He should be joining us in a few minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. James, for that. Okay. Ms. Patterson, I see your hand also. Ms. Patterson, just before you got on, just to let you know, and I'm going to let you speak, most definitely. But just to let you know, Grace Musette was on. She was the first person to speak at this evening's meeting, and so she did give us the update about the tree planting, so that
Oh,
you know
thank
that.
God. Okay, I was very concerned about that because I didn't see her on. But
No,
Matt,
she was the first person to speak. Go ahead.
okay. Thank you so much, Miss Bond. Appreciate that.
No problem.
I thank you so much, Matt, for introducing our new park manager. I believe it's Mr. Rodriguez.
Correct.
Mr. Rodriguez, I just came from Seton Falls Park today because Councilman Riley indicated yesterday that there was a moving that is going to be scheduled in Seton Falls Park. But right now, the grass is at least knee high and it needs to be cut. So if we can get an explanation or a time frame as to when our grass will be cut. And second question, I understand Mike Ortiz from Capitol from the Bronx Parks Department is not there, but can we please put that on the agenda to find out about the follow-up to our benches that are on East 233rd Street that we had asked to for one bench to be moved down to High Rock Playground? Thank you.
Okay, to answer to your questions on the cutting, when do you have that movie night coming up? Miss Patterson?
The movie is May the 27th, Saturday.
Okay, I will have that done before then. Because what
And when
happens,
you
we have
mean
a northern
before then,
region
do you
cutting.
mean the week before or the 2 weeks before? Do you have any kind of time frame? Because the grass is knee high now.
I will speak to right now we have a northern region cutting crew that's going on. So they are hitting different areas, large areas. But as soon as I come in tomorrow, I will speak to the supervisor. Where does it fall in the schedule? And if it falls before then, hopefully I definitely can have it done before a week or 2 weeks before then.
Okay, I'll put my information in the chat. Please, do you mind getting back to me?
Yes, I will.
Okay, and follow-up question is, we had asked Mike Ortiz about the bench. We have 2 benches on East 233rd Street, and we had asked that one bench be moved down to High Rock Playground where it was previously. Do we have any information on that?
I will talk to Mike about that one when I go in tomorrow. I will look into that, and I will get back to you on that one.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, thank you so much. I see,
Mrs. Bond, I
Ms.
don't
Victoria.
think he addressed the bulletin board.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Rodriguez, also the bulletin board. Well, I don't know if you would know about the bulletin board so much. Maybe Matt, you want to jump in on that? The bulletin board that was
Yes,
given to us. Yeah.
the one that we installed, the one that was knocked down, the one that we, yes, we are aware. We do still have it right up at the park house that's just north of, or just south, I think, of where we originally installed it. And I did debrief Felix on it, and Felix will follow up with that.
Yes, I
Matt,
will.
We'll get it back in.
Matt, was there an accident over there by the park a couple of days ago by 222nd Street?
There
And
was.
after that, yes, it was.
Yeah, I'll defer to Felix on that because I don't know too much more about that one.
Well, right now, I did request a sergeant for pep and park enforcement to go to a precinct, the local precinct in the area, and hopefully a report was made out, but no report and no accident was reported. So basically, right now we put our work request and we'll speak to Steve tomorrow when the railing will be fixed. I can't give you a time frame right now because they're really busy. The truck guys are doing between pools and beaches are getting prepped before the season starts. But I will definitely get back to you on what's going on with the handrail on that one. But it was an accident. A whole bunch of car parts were left behind, and the local precinct says there was no report was made out for that happened that night.
I know I drove by and I saw an ambulance there, and it seemed as if there was some damage to the railing.
Yes, there's the handicap railing was damaged. Yes, the car just flew right into it and bent that beginning section of the railings were totally bent.
Got it. Okay.
That's what we were hoping, that if it was any police report was made out for that night, but nothing was reported to the PD at all.
Got it. Now, Mrs. Bond, I think Mr. Ramdeen is on now.
Yes, I do see him. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Ramdeen. We appreciate it. I know that you are a person who frequents the RC Park area, and we just wanted to hear from someone who's utilizing the area exactly what's happening in the area. If you could just elaborate on that and introduce yourself to the Parks Committee.
Hi, I'm Dave Ramdeen. I've been going to Fort Knox Park, I would say about 10 years now. We run remote control cars there. It's a group of individuals that own these cars, and from time to time we'll show up and we'll utilize the track that's been there for, I don't know how long it's been there, but I know it's been there for a while. And it's pretty much a family environment. I bring my kids there at times. They run their cars there as well. Right now, I know since the weather is getting much better, there's more people that find it interesting. They go there. You know, the cool thing is it's open to the public, and it's just a fun environment. Anyone that's into remote control cars, especially the off-road ones, more than welcome to visit, try to track out, see how much fun you have.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Rendine. Matt Duron from the Parks Department is here, and I think that he just wanted to also ensure that there were no structures that were built on the park, just using the park at the RC park as it is currently too. So that was one of the things that, and it's not, I don't think it has anything to do with you or anyone else that's utilizing it before. We did have an RC group that was supposed to be like doing stuff there, and they never came to fruition, kind of. So he had to remove structures and things like that. So he just wanted to, in this forum, make it everyone aware of, kind of like what the expectations are. So, Matt, do you want to go over anything, or did I capture it all?
I think you summed it well.
Okay, great. All right.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Mr. Ramsey. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to, give us some insight as to what's happening over at that park, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
All right. I see Miss Victoria. Are you still with me, love?
I'm here, Miss Bond. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
One of my
Good.
favorite people. How are you?
Good.
All right. So, what's happening with Bronx River Alliance? Any updates that you would like to share?
Sure, I put something in the chat. I know that Matt was mentioning earlier the kind of systemic issues that come along with the entire Parks Department being understaffed and underfunded. So the Bronx River Alliance is part of the Playfair Coalition, which is a group of organizations that are all trying to fight for 1% of the city budget to go to the Parks Department. Those budget negotiations are ongoing. So if anyone, obviously everyone on this committee cares about parks. That's why you're in this meeting and why you're on the committee. So if you haven't gotten a chance to sign that petition, please take a peek. I put it in the chat. There's a link there. Please share it widely with your networks and anyone your family, your friends, other gardeners, anything like that, people who use the parks, which we know are a lot of us, because unfortunately there are some impending cuts to the Parks Department budget if our city council members do not fight the mayor on this issue. So we need to show that community members and constituents in every district, in every borough, care about their parks and want them funded properly. So that's one thing that we're trying to spread the word about. And it's never too late to sign the petition or to write a letter to your council member. These budget negotiations will be going on throughout this month. So please, we hope that you'll get a chance to show support for the parks. And some other things going on. Councilmember Riley is going to be having a Family Day celebration on May 20th at Shoelace Park. Bronx River Alliance will be proudly tabling there with a community science activity that's kid friendly. There will be plenty of other organizations and groups tabling as well, and there should be plenty of fun stuff to do. So you can see me there on May 20th at Shoelace Park near 222nd Street. Some other things that are coming up in the next week or so are this coming Saturday, May 13th. We have a few things. One is an Imagining a Safer Bronx River Road walk audit that is being led by our Greenway coordinator. So it's starting at the Woodlawn Metro North Station and then walking up. So it's just assessing for any community members that are interested in the accessibility of the Greenway or of walkable, bikeable paths along, the river, to see what the barriers are and why this kind of connection up into Westchester has, what are the barriers to having that be safe and accessible for everyone on both sides of the border. So if folks are interested in that, that'll be in the morning on Saturday, May 13th. We're also having a Starlight Festival if you're interested in traveling further down. The river in Starlight Park. Assemblymember Kenny Burgos is going to be co-hosting an event with us, and we'll be giving away rain barrels. So again, for anyone who's doing any community gardening, who's interested in harvesting rainwater, there will be free rain barrels being given away. You can register to get one in advance if you would like, or after a certain time. I think for registrations, it's from 12 to 1:30, and then after 1:30 on, it'll just be first come, first serve. Anyone who shows up, and if whatever number of rain barrels are left will be given away as people want them. So definitely feel free to check that out, and I can put the event details in the chat there. So I just shared the Starlight Festival walk, and anything that I'm mentioning can be found, more information can be found on bronxriver.org. And I think one other thing that we have coming up is a native tree planting on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, May 16th, in the Bronx River Forest. So if you've never planted a tree in the forest before, it's a really cool special experience with our conservation crew. So definitely, check us out, bronxriver.org. The event details are there as well. And I'll put my email address in the chat because, as always, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about any of the stuff we do. We do a lot throughout the year, all along the Bronx River. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And I know I've mentioned this in previous meetings, but we have our ongoing community soil testing program. So anyone who is either interested in learning more about that or in getting some soil tested, if you're unsure of how safe it is to grow, either consumable plants or medicinal herbs or things like that, definitely feel free to reach out for more information. But I can include the link for more information about that in the chat as well.
Okay. Miss Victoria, I have one question for you.
Yes.
In terms of the Imagine on the May 13th event, what time is that going to start?
The Imagining a Safer
Imagine.
Bronx River Road Walk Audit starts at 9:30 a.m. and it's until 11:30 a.m. And I'm going to I will put the link to that in the chat as well. That's that very last link that I just put is
Okay.
more information about that.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Okay, got it. Okay. I just clicked the link myself, so I had that as well. All right. Thank you so much for that. Do you have anything else you wanted to share, or you're good?
No, that's all for me. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to join us as well.
Of course.
All
It
right.
was a pleasure.
We have any other questions or comments that we have from anyone attending the meeting this evening? Mr. Rodriguez, would you like to say anything?
I'm glad that I'm working with great people that I'm looking forward to work with all of you and everything. And hopefully we can work great,
All right.
I can't wait.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez, don't forget please to put your contact information in the chat so we can capture it here on
And I am doing that right now.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Anyone
Mr.
else
Clark.
have any I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. James.
Yes, I just wanted to state that there was a flyer sent out by Ursula for the Ujama planting.
Yes, that was May 6th. That happened already.
I know. I just wanted to make mention that I visited that.
Oh, I did too.
And my daughter went there as well, and it was a very fun exercise.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
believe Luke was there, and
Oh, I didn't know. What time was that? What time did you
I
go?
went about I got there about 3:45.
Oh, we just missed each other then.
That was pretty late. My daughter was there before me,
Oh,
and
okay.
there is I plan to go back there to help with some of the grading of the soil, and
Yes.
but it's a nice little thing they have going on there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that they are doing a fantastic job, and I was very proud to see the turnout that they had for their event on May 6th.
Yeah.
So it was very nice. Very, very nice. So anyone else have any other comments or anything they would like to share? Miss Williams, I'm sorry, you're sharing a whiteboard? Did you intend to do that or just accidentally? Miss Williams? All right, anyone else have any other comments or concerns? No? All right.
Sorry, I was just trying to get the email. So I could screenshot the email so I would have it. And it went to
Miss
sharing.
Williams, I'm having a little difficulty hearing you. So can you
I
please
said
say again?
I was trying to get the email addresses to everybody who put it in chat. I was trying to screenshot it and it hit to the sharing.
Oh, I see. I understand what you were saying. I don't know if you want to, we can keep this up for a little bit and then we can, maybe, I don't know, you want to just copy and paste it into another document? You want to do it that way? Miss Williams? Miss Williams?
Or Denise, she can do it old school like I do it. I just take a picture of it on my phone.
Oh, okay. That's another way.
Yeah,
You
just
can
take a
just
picture on your phone.
utilize your smartphone to take a picture. Okay. Well, I see Miss Patterson has her hand raised. Yes, Miss Patterson?
Um, uh, oh God, I just forgot what a senior moment.
It's all right. It's all right. Happens to the best of us.
Senior moment. Mr. Rodriguez, is it possible that if we have some time, I'd like to come over if you're located at Happen and sit down and discuss some things about Seton Falls Park with you?
Yes, my contact information is there, and you can send me your information and we could try to make a date sometime. Yes.
Okay,
Talk.
all right. And I really appreciate that because we have a laundry list of things that we're looking forward to in Seton Falls Park, including they put a porta potty there. So who is emptying that porta potty? You know, it's been there now for about 3 weeks.
It's supposed to be a service contractor. They come twice a week to service it. Well, if you have my contact information on the chat now, and if they don't, they're supposed to come twice a week. If they don't come and service at any time, let me know. I will reach out to the company myself, and they will come and service it.
So no one checks it on a regular basis, like when they come to pull the trash, do they check to see if it's service, or does someone drive by? Does the workman drive by to see if it's being serviced?
Well, basically, there's a service contract. It's supposed to be twice a week, so it's Tuesday and Thursday to come out to do it.
Okay.
Tuesday and Thursdays. If you don't see anything happening on Tuesday and Thursday, or else if you do see it that it needs to be serviced even on the Wednesday, reach out to me. I will call the company myself, and they will have somebody there that hopefully that afternoon to service it.
Oh, okay, because it's getting, the weather's getting nicer now. We have more young people, more children, and more people in the, especially Stars and Stripes playground.
Yes, I do understand. I definitely do. I understand.
Oh, all right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any more questions or comments at this time? Ms. Williams, did you get the information you were looking to write down or take a picture
Yes,
of? Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes, I did.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you got what you needed. All right. So I don't see any other hands or comments at this time. Can I have a motion from one of the committee members to bring our meeting to a close?
Motion to close the meeting.
Yeah, wait, I didn't quite hear who made the motion, please.
Mr. Boris.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Boris.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. James. And so this meeting is coming to a close at 8:16 p.m. Thank you all for you taking the time out. I appreciate each and every one of you. And together we can make our community just that much better and that much stronger. So thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Great meeting. Good night.
Great meeting.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
A great,
Good night.
Good night,
a
everyone.
great meeting.
Good night.
Good night.
Everyone be safe and abundance of blessings.
All right. Bye, Master. I hear Master in the background. Bye.